it's Jan with What You Make It, and we are going to start a new series today, and I'm calling it Trending Techniques, because there are so many great techniques out there that I want to figure out how to do so that I can incorporate them into my own art, and I want to share that with you as well. And today's technique is Inlaid Die Cuts. Everywhere you turn on Pinterest and other blogs, you see people using their die cuts to create these really cool inlaid focal images. And so I want to show you how to do it. We're going to do it on actually using some wood veneer, which is easy to work with. And so I thought I would kind of do two trends at once. I would do the wood veneer and the inlaid die cut. To begin with, I'm using this very thin wood veneer paper that I got at Hobby Lobby, and you can see that it's stained. One side is wood, the other side has a little plastic finish on it, so it's really easy to use with your die cuts. And so I began by just cutting a shape that was approximately the size that I needed. And I'm actually going to do two of these. One of them I'll show you making it all the way into the card. But I'm using a Labels 4 Spellbinder die and one of my nesting circles. And I wanted to give some shape to the area that I was going to be doing the inlaid die cut. But for me, it's easier if I do both of these steps at the same time. I put the focal image die, which is that label or the circle, and then I put that, whatever the die cut is, inside. It just goes a little quicker for me, and I tend to get it done a little more quickly now using my Sizzix magnetic plate. So you can see I've gone through. I can lift up and begin to separate them. When you're working with wood veneer, you want to be a little tender with it. It has grain to it, and if you're not really careful, it can split. I found that if you will take your time and just wiggle it, it will come free really nice and clean and give you a great look. So once you have those two separate, I wanted to color the inside piece. Now you could, I just loved I wanted to do wood into wood, but if you wanted to do like a different, like another piece of paper, you could go die cut that piece of paper and put that in. I just was so loving working with the wood, I thought I would do that. So I'm coloring this wood veneer with some Copic markers. You can do that. Realize that it is that wood fiber, and so it will not be totally not streaky. It's going to soak up and absorb a little bit, but easy peasy. Copics color it really well, and you can see it just fits right back in there and is just a cool look. Now to inlay the design, this is how I do it. I take some of my score tape. I'm using a wide version of it here because I want it to hold evenly, and trying to put glue with paper and having it seep out through the edges of the die cut just didn't seem to be a good plan for me. Plus, because I'm working with the wood veneer paper, I am going to put this other label that I cut back behind it to make it a little sturdier because the veneer is thin. Isn't that cool looking? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This is probably going to be my favorite technique for the next little while because I'm finding all kinds of ways to use it. Not just the wood veneer, but the whole just inlaying a die cut. It just gives you another way to use that tool, right? So if you are kind of like me and don't get it totally lined up, you just use your trimming scissors and detail scissors and do that. So for finishing, I used my typewriter and made a little banner that says "Very Merry," and I make the fishtails. You can use a square punch and put it on the corner, but I've just found if you snip down the center and then make those two ends meet up, you get a nice little flag. Going to give it a little dimension by curving a little bit, and going to put a pop dot under the rounded side and put a little Tombow Mono multi glue on the other edge and put that down in there, so that will act as my sentiment. I'm keeping everything kind of in natural tones because this wood veneer is just so stinking gorgeous. Those are some Studio Calico wood veneer stars. If you wanted to, you could use your markers on those as well. Easy peasy, just kind of doubling up on my trends here right now. Because I didn't move the tree far enough down into the die cut, I couldn't really put the star on the top of the tree, so I decided to just kind of scatter them on top of it. Now, this is another trend that's out there right now, is this wood grain paper. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I thought putting the very earthy wood veneer focal piece onto some of this white would be really cool. So I've cut down a piece of it, and I'm going to pop it up on some dimensionals. I've cut it a little, maybe a ½ inch shorter than the width of my card, because I wanted it to be really noticeable. So I'm going to do a little inside stamping here with my tree, and I decided to do a little stamp off there just to, so it wasn't totally bright, because the tree on the front is kind of muted. It's more natural. So just trying to make the inside match the outside. So you know me, I overdo the dimensionals, but I just hate when things sag in the middle. So I tend to use a little extra dimensionals in situations like that. And now I'm going to pop up our focal image. You can see how really quickly this comes together. You get such a really great result, but it's super easy, super easy. And like I said, it's one of those techniques that you just get so much pop from it that I think it's really cool. So that's our card. And for the snowflake one, I actually ended up making a shaped card with some Spellbinder's Scallop Circles die. But you can use this technique on so many ways. This was a die that actually cuts out kind of a chicken wire or hexagon, and I stamped all the little inlaid pieces. Here is where I've used a word die and have cut out the word out of vellum, and then also cut it out of this other paper. So it just really kind of pops. You can see it's such a great trend to incorporate into your projects, whether you're a card maker, want to do it for mixed media, whatever you want to do. I hope you'll try this Inlaid Die Cut technique. Let me know what you think about this Trending Techniques series. If there's a particular trend that you're seeing that you would like me to show you my interpretation of how to do it, leave me a message down below. If you have not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe so that you can keep up with what the latest uploads are. And be sure and follow me on Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll be back with another project soon. Y'all take care and be sure and save some time for creative play.